Hello everyone and welcome to the third Amonkhet draft I'm going to be recording for the mana base. You can check their website, YouTube page and Facebook page. Links are down below in the description. And before we start, I like to also encourage you to check out other content producer at the mana base. There are plenty things to be watched or read there. You have articles, videos about Pauper, Modern, Cube, a lot of stuff. And yeah, just check that out if you are interested in, something else than limited. And there's also other limited articles and videos too. In any case, this pack is pretty good. Visitor of the Many Faces is very strong, pretty much a bomb rare. I'm not a big fan of blue in draft, but it's not weak either, and Visitor is just the best card here. Next best card is probably Magma Spray. Scavenger has impressed me quite a lot. Nest of Scarab pretty good in the right deck. Essence Scatter is not bad. Soul Stinger pretty good in the black deck too, but Visitor is just clearly the best card here. Pool is not bad. It's kind of slow, but it just wins the game if you can, get into some sort of board stall, or if you are not under pressure, you can just probably win with that. I'm already in blue, so I might just pick it, but I would say that both Compulsory Rest and Electrify are better cards. Naga Vitalist is pretty good too. Skirmisher is fine, but I'm pretty sure I would pick Vitalist, Electrify, or Rest over the Skirmisher, even though we are already blue. Trial's decent, but I think I like Vitalist slightly more. You have a decent amount of solid 3-drop in green, and this one is good but not insane, unless you end up having a ton of cartouche, but it's not always the case. Where you don't have that many good 2-drop, and Vitalist is just a great 2-drop. I think I'm just gonna go with Pool. Pool is a good card. We might just build some type of control deck. And again, since we are already blue, this seems like a decent pick. Probably just gonna pick Aven Initiate here. It's a very good card. Not sure if it's better than Scavenger or Soul Stinger. I think the 3 cards are approximately the same power level. But since we are already blue, it seems like it should be the pick. There's also another Nest of Scarabs, so maybe something though. I think you really want to be black-green to make the best use of that, and we are really going into blue here, so someone's probably gonna get a sweet black green deck, -1 counter, but it's not gonna be us, not today. I think we are pretty happy to be blue and just pick some very solid cards so far. Sensor is not bad. I'm not entirely sure if it's better or worse than Essence Scatter. Talking about limited, obviously. I definitely like both more than Hieroglyphic Illumination. I'm not entirely sure. I could see Essence Scatter just being better. The fact that you can cycle Sensor is just really nice though. And people don't play a lot around it. Most people at least. So I don't know. I think it's pretty close. I think Sensor is slightly more and I mean you can play around Essence Scatter too. It's something you can do. So there is that. The advantage of Sensor is that even if your opponent plays around it, you can still cycle, and overall I think it's slightly more versatile. You can do more things with a Sensor, where sometime, very rarely to be honest, but sometime Essence Scatter can end up being slightly clunky. Alright, there's a fairly late Vitalist as well as Naga, so green might be open. I don't know, it's pretty early in the draft obviously, but those 2 cards are pretty good. I think Labyrinth Guardian is just very solid too. Maybe better, but if anything it's about the same power level as the green card, so we don't have any reason to move out of blue. I'm just gonna pick that. Well, this pack is probably the least exciting pack we saw so far. Not thrilled about anything. I guess Spring Mine is not the worst if you do end up playing blue-green. And ramping into Pool is kinda cool. Pitiless Vizier might just be the best card here. Right now I guess we have one cycler. Not a huge fan of Cheetah or Hyena Pack, those are weak filler. I don't think we're gonna be milling people. And Burden is fine, but if I want to go black, I'd try to just pick Vizier. Not sure about Mind Spring. It's not bad. It's not bad. Maybe I just pick that. We saw a couple good green cards in last booster, so maybe green will be open. Not sure. There was nothing exciting in any case. Heckma Sentinel is a fine 3-drop. I think I like it more than the Crab. Crab is a little bit too passive for my taste. It's not, in some deck it's gonna be good, but it's very, very defensive. And Heckma Sentinels, once you have a couple cycler, or even if you don't and you can threaten it, it's a solid 3-drop. It's also easier to cast. Lay Bare the Heart is not bad, but it's not good enough reason to go black, if anything. Cancel is usually pretty mediocre in most limited set. I've been fairly happy with Cancel in this set though somehow, which is kind of weird because the games are, especially in draft, there are some pretty aggressive deck, and I don't know, Cancel not the best option against aggro, but it's been fairly good for me. Now Crab might just be better. I've been pleased more by Cancel than Crab. The Nest of Scarab wield, interestingly enough. I don't know, I'm not sure you can really make that good enough in blue-black though. And wrapping is fine if you will try to kill with flyers or with a lot of card advantage or with some bomb rares. You don't really mind giving them a no-2 blocker. Not my favorite removal, but it works. It's not the worst. And again, I don't think we're gonna go into the Nest of Scarab deck here. Pretty late Vizier. And nothing else. Another Nest. Not gonna play Slicer Blade in this deck. Curse has been sometimes pretty annoying and good against me. I'm not the biggest fan, but it's more playable than it looks like. There's definitely a couple decks that go wide. It's not the worst answer to the White Monument that you probably should play in any deck, even if it's not white, by the way. That produces a 1/1 Soldier with Vigilance every time you cast a creature. But yeah, Curse is, it's type of card when I look at it during the spoiler, I'm like, well, this is awful. Played against it a little bit. It was never really good enough, to be honest, but I think in some matchup it's actually a decent option. Alright, interesting. So we have a couple decent green cards in Warrior and Howler, Stinging Shot, another Spring Mind. That might just wield. Best card in the pack is probably Baleful Amit. And then there's a Drake, which is slightly weaker than the Amit, but on color. At this point, I'm not sure if we should, just pick the better card and maybe play black, or just try to stay open, pick the Drake. Drake is very solid. Amit is good, but it's not insane. I think I'm just gonna stay in blue for now. Keep my options open. Well, we did not see a ton of white pack one. Barely any, to be honest, but Cast Out is pretty sick. Just the best removal in the set by quite a lot. Cartouche of Knowledge is good too, but I think this is just too good to pass. Now, I believe we'll probably not get a ton of white pack 3, but since we did not pass any white, we might just be able to get a decent amount of white this pack and just only pick blue cards pack 3 and end up being fine. Lord is good, but Cast Out is just better. And I anticipate us getting quite a bit of white this pack. So it's kinda You know, it's a little bit unfair to the guy who passed to us and cut white and was hoping to get reward because we are cutting now. But you know, this is a draft. This is how it works, and I think this is a fairly smart move, to be honest. The best card here is probably Gust Walker. Gust Walker is very good. Sandworm is good too, but I'm pretty happy to just pick Gust Walker and just pick all the good white cards here. There's a compulsory rest. I guess we pass a compulsory rest back one, but nothing else pretty much. There's some other green card. Hopefully we'll be willing one or two of this skirmisher. This card is pretty good. I'd be happy to have a couple in my deck, but yeah, the rest is just the best option here. You know, Creator's Name is pretty good in some deck. It's not gonna be great here though. Same with Sparring Mummy if you have a ton of Exert. I think in this deck, the card that's gonna be the best is Winged Shepherd, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's perfectly fine. Another rest, nice. Pretty happy that I just jump into white. Again, I think we'll see absolutely no white back 3, but we'll see enough blue where it's not gonna be a real issue, I believe. Renewed Face I'm not the biggest fan, but it kinda works well with Sentinels. It can help you in a race, and I really don't like Crab, Argument, or Seeker, so... I actually haven't played with Renewed Face yet in this set. It just doesn't seem great, but it cannot be bad. It cannot be really bad. Not sure if River Serpent is better than Winds of Rebuke. I think it's kind of close. Wind is a pretty decent card. I'm happy to have one Wind in every blue deck I'm drafting, so I'm not entirely sure. I think Serpent is slightly better. Okay, one of the Skirmisher wheeled, which is sweet. Pretty late Wayward Servant. Guess no one's playing Black-White Zombie. Manticore of the Gauntlet is very good too. Yeah. Guess there's a chance I play the Crab. That's a late Sandworm, by the way. Cradle, if the mana is good enough. Not so sure about that. We have a couple double blue already, so I don't anticipate us playing that, but who knows. And we will the other Skirmisher, which is great, and the Sentinels, which actually are becoming better and better. We have more and more cyclers, so I like how this is shaping up. We got a ton of 2-drop here, so now we can play a slightly more aggressive, you know, game and game plan. Blue-white aggro with some flyer to finish the late game I think is very solid. And, you know, getting 2 rest plus cast out is really nice. Now we might just not play wrappings. This is more necessary if you're more controlly and you don't have enough removal. We are probably going to be quite aggressive actually, and we got some much better removal. I think I like Shimmer Scale Drake more than anything else here. Definitely like that more than Shepherd. 5 is a huge difference, and 4 toughness is also pretty big difference. Spearmaster is fine, but I think I like the Drake more. As Foretold might be worth a little bit of money, but I don't think it's a lot, and at least not enough for me to just pick a card that's not gonna do anything. Those Who Serve is fine. Though I kind of feel like Heckma Sentinels might end up being a better card in this deck since we have a decent amount of cyclers. I will never play to cancel main, I think. I don't like Slither Blade. Sacred Cat is pretty good, I might just pick that. Evolving Wild is the other option, make the mana base slightly better. Also, if we have an Evolving Wild, we could maybe afford to play the Cradle. So that's kind of, decent. Best card here is probably Cartouche and Beetle. Cat is pretty good though, I'm just gonna pick the Cat. I don't mind having that in my deck. Well, I do like Gale Strike at this mount. I'd be happy to wheel Shepherd, Drake or Cat, but I think I like Gale Strike more here. Especially since I did not pick a Winds of Rebuke, and pretty happy to have Gilstrike. Open into Wonder I haven't played with yet, so it could be a a good deck to try that maybe. The thing is, a decent amount of our attackers already have evasion. Open into Wonder is also pretty bad with Labyrinth Guardian. Not sure how good it would be here. Maybe that card is insane. I don't believe it's insane. I think it's fine. And since we have quite a lot of flyer, I think it also loses a lot of its value. So I'm not sure. Definitely like it more than any of the other blue core. Now I could see those who serve just being a better pick overall. But maybe I'm wrong. I guess Illumination is not the worst since we have 2 Sentinels. It's actually fairly appealing. Maybe I should try Open. I just don't really like that card. Yeah. Let's try something different, maybe. Not sure if I'm gonna play it, but at least I have the option. And there was nothing else really appealing. Even Initiate's great, love it. Jaruz Resolve is pretty good. Takrop Elite is also probably quite good here. Skimmerster is nice. I think we can use one more 2-drop, but we don't need it. It's not necessary. It would be decent though. Yeah, I think I like both creature more than Jaruz Resolve and Ketra's name. We have 14 creature now. I think I'd just pick a creature over Treek right there. Resolve's pretty good though. Takrop Elite is very nice with a bunch of flyers. It's a good card overall. I'm just gonna go with Elite, I think. Alright, well, Cartridge of Knowledge is lovely. I'd find making a Forsake the Worldly, but this is just better. This is not good, by the way. Don't play that. At least not in Limited. Angler Drake? What? Pick 7? Pick 8? Alright. Sure. I mean, I'll take it. Another Renewed Face. We definitely have enough playables here. Might be a little bit difficult to cut stuff, though. Because there's nothing I really want to cut, to be honest. I mean, the Renewed Face can be cut for sure. Kinda like keeping a dismount of Cycler for the 2 Sentinels, though. We are not cutting any of the 2-drop, we are not cutting the cat. River Serpent can go. Though I'm not sure, maybe Renewed... Not sure which one is better between Renewed Face and Serpent, but... And Open into Wonder, I don't know. I feel like I kind of feel like I like Pool more. It depends. In some deck, I could see Open into Wonder being fantastic and much better than Pool, even. But in this deck, I'm not sure, like... We have so many flyers that, like, more than half of our creature flies, pretty much. So I'm not sure how good, this is gonna be. But maybe it's good. I should definitely try it. I think I'm gonna try it. I'm not sure if it's... To me it seems weak here, but you gotta try the card. And I think that's what I'm gonna do here. Probably gonna play 16 land, I believe is gonna be fine. I'm probably gonna cut one Renewed Face. This we can cycle. This we can cycle here. This we can cycle. This is often gonna be cast for 5, I guess. Even less since we don't... I don't think Open is very good in this deck, honestly. Nah, I will try that card one day, but I don't think it's good enough here. I think I'd just rather draw a bunch of cards than... Yeah. You still draw cards, you can target flyers, I guess. Maybe I should try it. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm gonna play face of that. Some people might just yell at me for doing that, but I will try that. Not today, not in this deck though. And I think we just play that. We probably want more blue. So what? We make it 9/7, I guess. I very rarely go 9-7. Most of the time I will just 8-8, but here I think we have enough blue where we might want the 9-7, and we do have a decent amount of double blue too. So yeah, that's gonna be the deck. Blue-white mid-range flyer. It seems very good to me. We have a nice curve, some potent removal, some decent synergies, pretty good longevity in the late game because of the couple embalmed creatures plus the pool. And that, by the way, it might just be right to play 17 lands here, since we have pool and yeah, we actually we have so many embalms and a pool and a couple. Yeah, I think this is actually right to play 17 here. So I'm probably just gonna cut a renewed face and add 1 planes and make it 9. 9-8. Yup, sounds good. Yeah, you want to play 16 land if your deck is likely to get flooded. I don't think it's really the case here. I mean, if we do a lot of land, we can do stuff with the mana. We have 2 Initiates, 2 Skirmisher, a Labyrinth Guardian, Vizier. We have a couple 5 and 6 drop. We have a pool. I don't think this is very risky for us. Whereas sometimes, if you don't really have a ton of things to do in the late game, you know, you have more reason to play 16. But here, even though I tend to play quite a lot of times 16 in this set because of cycling, here I think it's right to just play 17 and make it more likely you just hit your land drop and can curve out. Because the risk of flooding without being able to do anything is not super. If anything, it's less likely than in some other deck because of all the reasons I mentioned. But in any case, this is gonna be deck. I hope you enjoyed that. Drop a like if it's the case, and I see you guys for round 1.